All right, hello. Konbanwa. Good evening. Let me just make sure everything's going okay. How did I get 6 thumbs up? I haven't even done anything yet. You guys are so nice. I think that angle's okay. All right, we got a few people over in the chat already. Raina says, oh, she can't come by, but she came by. She left a comment, but she can't be here for when we're live. Thank you for saying hello. Trucker's in the house. Ned is in the house. Morning for Ned in his part of the world. Nighttime for me, obviously, almost midnight, 11:30 p.m. here in Japan. And looks like there's 27 people already here. Wow, that is awesome. Okay, so we're going to jump in. We'll give a few minutes for people to slide in and say hello, and then we'll jump in and look at what happened today on day 14. Had some coverage up on the Patreon. Not extensive, but got a little Juryo in there and some of the main matches. I think I'll be a little bit more extensive tomorrow, just as we see who's going to be matched up with who. And are we going to have some Darwin matches, 7-7 versus 7-7, things like that. All right, who else is coming in? King Ram is here. Hello. ASIJ, Australia Society of Interesting Japanese People, alumni. Morning from AZ. Oh, maybe it's Arizona. Sorry. Colin's here. Mara's here. Pear is here. Ozzy is here. Mug. Chi or Chai. Scott is here. Scott from Hawaii doing that crazy get up early in the morning thing. AID. Hello from Chicago. Hello back. Collins asked how I'm feeling. Thank you for asking. I am medium. The pills seem to be mostly doing their job, but I was just really tired today. I need to maybe just sleep tomorrow when I'm not watching sumo and not try to get stuff done. Gonna be a full week of work next week, but I won't have to come home and do sumo in the evening, so I can rest a bit more. American school in Japan. All right, very good, very good. I don't know why King Rama is very secretive about his location. Maybe he's in the American military and he can't give away where he is stationed or something. Tar Heel, hello from North Carolina. Subscribed to the Patreon the other day after explaining it on the last show. Ended up binging loads and have established my favorite at this point. Really, oh, good. Well, Welsh Gray, thank you so much for coming by. Yeah, I belong to 5 Patreon accounts of my own interest. One's a comic book creator. One's a Canadian couple that do like movie watch-alongs. What else am I on there? I'm 2 guys in college that react to music. I do theirs. One guy is a guy named Elliot who lives in Australia and talks about the Beatles all the time. So, yeah, you just never know what you're going to find on there, and you can help them out and support their work. And I think that's great that it exists for creative people like that. Wow, Jonathan, are you at Epic Universe in Orlando? Is that opening right? I thought it opened in June, but it looks amazing. I'm a big theme park guy. I'm really too big nowadays to go to theme parks and fully enjoy it. But yeah, back in the day, I used to love going because I live so close to the original Disneyland. I used to go there all the time. And of course, I've been to the Tokyo Disneyland. I've been to the Florida Disneyland, but that's it. I haven't been to like the Shanghai or the Hong Kong. Edward says hello from Kadena. Should I know where that is, Edward? I feel like I should. Bade Montel says hello from Germany. Hello from Germany. Oh, Trucker Mark was in my hometown, San Diego, yesterday. I hope it's doing well. Patrick says, thank you for doing your sumo stuff. You are very welcome, Patrick. I enjoy doing it. All right, Mug has a question right here before we get started. I'm about to jump in and get started. Let's answer a few more. Crazy stat question for the day because Jason's record holder talk got me thinking. Has there ever been a perfect 15-0 Juryo show? Huh. So two guys, both 15-0. Uh, I don't think that would. I don't know if that would be possible because they at some point they would make them fight each other in the regular tournament. I don't think they would be able to get to the playoff. Oh, you're saying I see what you're saying. They can't fight each other during the regular playoff because it's like Terano Fuji and Hakuoho, and they're both in Isagahama stable at the time. So they both have 15-0, and they get. Oh yeah, that would be super rare, Mug. I can't imagine that's ever happened, but maybe. Who knows? That'd be really interesting to find out if it ever has, but I very much doubt it. We got a little used to Zensho Yusho in the Hakuho era because he had so many of them, but it's really not that common an occurrence. Um, I only think Terunofuji had 2 or 3, and, the current crop, I can't think of any other time when we've had I mean, Haruma Fuji had 1 or 2, so it's really yeah, 2 Wings is backing me up. He says, "I highly doubt it." Yeah, Disneyland Paris, I mean, I'd like to go, I enjoy the parks, but the new Epic Universal Park does sound epic. I watch, YouTube videos where people do park tours and go on the rides and kind of live vicariously. Howdy from BT. Ben One Eye says, "Yeah, okay, I get to see. I am alive and well. I am born in 1969, the year of legends. Thank you very much. Uh, Easily ignored. Cup of tea. I'm having some royal milk tea with one of the members of BTS in very small form on my bottle. So there you go. BT says, I drove through a tornado yesterday. Wow, I am glad you were here too. That sounds harrowing. It has not occurred, Ozzy says. Yeah, that would be sensational. I think you would have heard about that maybe. They would have said, "Oh, do you remember that one time, and the two people fought and then they got in the playoff?" And yeah. Okay. All right. So a bunch of you are here. Thank you so much for coming by, whatever time it is in your part of the world. Oh, Tara only had one Zensho Yusho Tube Wings is telling me. And Haru Mafuji had 3. Okay. And who knows how many Hakuho had. I know he had more. I want to say he had like 20. Did he have that many? So somebody will tell me at some point. From Finland, Iceman, hello. All right, I am glad for two Yokozuna too. I think it's going to be good for the sport. I was saying today in my Patreon coverage that I'm happy for the Japanese fans because I've been a fan of this sport for many, many years now, and I've talked to many of them. I've been at Live Basho. I've chatted with them when I go, and I've talked to a lot of taxi drivers and that have driven me to sumo and dropped me off and people just incidentally about sumo, and a lot of them I think their interest has waned if you're a Japanese person in the past so many years because there hasn't been a Shohei Otani of sumo for them to latch on to. And I think having Onosato, not that he's going to be, the Shohei Otani, but he's going to be a dominant figure. Let's cross our fingers, barring injury. And you know, a lot of people will probably be talking to me about sumo on Monday at school. Some even come up, and I think I mentioned this the other day. And I'll say something like, "Did you see that Onosato became the new Yokozuna?" I'm like, "Did I see? Hello, what do you think I do all weekend when it's sumo time?" So, but yeah, I'm really happy for the Japanese fans, and I think it'll be great that he has a built-in rival already in Hoshoryu, and I hope it means good things for us as fans to get to watch. Look forward to that Yokozuna clash on Senshiraku, Ichi Basho, that type of thing. Well, yeah, no one's going to match Hakuho. Hakuho doesn't just have 20 Yusho. I'm talking about, I was saying 20 Zensho Yusho. Hakuho has 45 Yusho. He's never going to get that many. No one's ever going to get that many again. Hakuho is the GOAT. He's going to have records that are never going to be matched. But that doesn't mean we can't enjoy Onosato and live in the moment now and say, why do we have to compare them to other people? I kind of had this rant in one of my Patreon videos today because people are already like grumbling, like, oh, all the people are talking about Onosato, how fast he came up. Well, he didn't have to start at, Jonokuchi like Hakuho did or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. Let's not do that. Let's just say, hey, this guy is amazing. He accomplished something that's really hard to do in a really quick amount of time. Celebrate that. Hope he is great for the sport. Hope he lives up to the hype and establishes a new era of sumo that we can all enjoy together, instead of having to say, well, he's not as good as this guy, or he you got to put an asterisk by this or blah blah blah. So yeah, those kind of comments kind of make me sad. Okay. For the record, we haven't had two Japanese Yokozuna face off in a Hon Basho since 1991. That's pretty amazing. A stat right there. Since 1990s, yeah, we've had Akebono, we've had Musashi Maru, we've had all the Mongolians. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Okay. Ohio, hello, Carol. Hi from Osaka, Satsuma. Yeah, I mean, we all hope they stay healthy and have long careers. And look at Tamawashi, man. Somebody made an interesting comment about Tamawashi the other day, saying that they think he found the secret is like not to do so well, that you get into the high ranks and like might hurt yourself, but to stay in Makuuchi, so you're making the maximum salary and you're visible and people are buying your merch, and it was very interesting comment, like he was that calculated about it. And I just replied to the comment. I said, well, that's a really interesting theory, but what about the two you show that Tamawashi has won? I think he worked really hard those two tournaments. So, oh, Leon's dropped what do we call it? Uh, uh, a gift. There's a word for it in chat language. Uh, uh, $10. Thank you for $10, Leon. He says, do you remember how much Hakuho Tegata cost? Because I know those Onosato ones are going to be crazy. Leon, I mean, are you talking about a real one as opposed to like the one you can buy at the souvenir stands? The ones at the souvenir stands will be like $10 to $15, but they're reproductions, right? He didn't actually touch those. It's like a poster that gets printed. If you want a real one, you've got a couple options. There's a place called the Tagata store that I think the guys are pretty good there. And of course, Jeff at buysumotickets.com. We can check that out in a minute. I'll pull up his site. I don't know if he has Onosato, but he's had a lot of other high-ranking guys. And they're usually, for a real one, you're looking at $150, $200, $250 to come with all the official stamps and everything. So, yeah, they're not cheap, but I think they look cool. I have two. I have Okonomi's and I have a Hanamafuji that are real. Okay. Oh no, was there a commercial? I'm sorry. I put monetize because, eventually I want there to be an ad before it all starts when it's on the channel, but I didn't think they would put a commercial on during the live. Sorry about that. There are other Yokozuna other than Hakuho with 40 plus Yusho. No, there aren't. The most, I think, is what Chiyono Fuji had 33, Taiho had like 32. There's no other Yokozuna other than Hakuho who have more than 40. So, Tyanger, Adam, I don't know what you're smoking. Super chat. Thank you guys for telling me what that is. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Thank you, Vladimir. I appreciate it. Yeah, who might be the next Ozeki? They had an interesting graphic up on the channel, up on the broadcast today, showing the 10 wins of Kirishima, the 10 wins of Wakataka Kage, the 9 wins of Daisho. How they're both putting up impressive all three guys are putting up impressive numbers to add to totals. So any one of those three could be an Ozeki by the end of the year, I think. And of course, when we look at who won and lost today on day 14, you're going to see that Wakataka Kage and Kirishima both won to go to 11-3. So they have really positioned themselves well to start an Ozeki run. And for my Dr. Pepper fun, yeah, I got Domino's because I was being lazy. And Domino's Japan is one of the few places that will send, you can buy Dr. Pepper. So I do have one bottle in the fridge that I bought at Domino's today. Thank you, though, Trucker Mark. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. Hello from Ventura County, California, Dave. I've been to Ventura many times. Yeah, it'll take a little while, I think, for him to transition and make Yokozuna merchandise. But right now, like the signed card that he had in last time's BBM cards, the trading cards, I just saw one, somebody selling it because there's only 60. They want $500 for it. And that's most signed cards go for $100-$150, and instantly the opening bid is he wants $500. So yeah, some of his stuff is going to get really expensive really quick. Oh, USA in the final of the World Ice Hockey Championships. Okay. All right. Yeah, Taiho at 32, Chiyono Fuji at 31. Thank you for correcting me, Tube Wings. And the only person above that is Hakuho. All right. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. So Aries, who's a channel member, thank you, Aries, for being a channel member, says, do you think Onosato will win against Hoshoryu for day 15? Let's see if I can start a poll. It says, close, start a Q&A, start a poll. Okay, here's a question. Who will win day 15 match? Okay. Answer 1. Hoshoryu. Answer 2. Onosato. Okay, start poll. Let's see if this works. Okay. So I'm going to let that be up there. There's 100 of you in here. So go ahead and vote. Who do you think is going to win tomorrow? Kirishima wins on day 15, goes 13-2. July Yusho. He can't go 13-2, but he can go 12-3. So. Oh, in the July Yusho, you're saying he's going to go 13-2? Oh, okay. Well, he could. Yeah, we need to talk about the Komusubi, George. That's a good one to bring up. I will when I jump over to the sharing the screen. Nancy says hello from Woodland. Thank you, Nancy, for your nice comment. The rise of the Ukrainians. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, not so much Shishi this tournament. I think he's like 3-11 or something. I don't know. He's having a terrible tournament. But Alan Ishiki is just kicking ass. I don't think he's going to change his Shikona. That's a good question. Generally, people do that either when they get promoted to Makuuchi or when they get promoted to Ozeki. Those are two common times to change it. But yeah, I don't think he will. Okay. How do we join your July contest? Well, before the July Basho starts on Sunday, July 13th, and the previous Sunday, which is my birthday, thank you very much, July 6th, I will probably post the welcome video. And I usually try to put it up 1 week before the start of the Basho. And in that description box here on YouTube of that video will be the link to join the contest. It'll be open all week. I'll mention it again in the day one videos, and then you have about 24 hours because sometimes people pull out of the tournament. Maybe people didn't know about it, or they just went, whoa, sumo's happening, and they forget. So generally the deadline, like in July, the deadline will be Monday, July 14th at 10 p.m. Japan time. And you have to be entered by then. And yeah, it's real simple. You just go to a Google page. I give you the link, and you pick your 6 guys, and off we go. Okay. Yeah, they've really. I think there's a very big difference, Ben, in their 2 styles, and I think Shishi is going to be an interesting Rikishi to watch. But Ao Nishiki is I think he's very talented and very focused. Oh, okay. George says he was born and raised in California. Yeah, I was originally born in Thousand Oaks. That's where I grew up until I was age 7. Okay, let's check the poll. So pretty 60 votes. That's a big majority of you, and I'll just hit end. So 67. So it's about a 2 to 1. Yeah, 2 out of 3 of you think that Onosato is going to win. So I agree. I think he's going to, the momentum, the everything. Hoshoryu is going to try his best. Don't get me wrong, but I think he'll probably win the day. And the crowd, oh my God, the crowd today was so loud for Onosato, and I think they're really going to be behind him tomorrow. All right, let's jump in. See if I can do this here. La la la. We'll look at the standings and all that good stuff. Okay. So I had a pretty extra long sumo summary show. Last night, so hopefully you got to watch that. I went over a lot of the records and the things that this man here, Onosato, did by winning, clinching the title on the Friday, and of course, becoming the next Yokozuna. But let's look here. Absent information, we always start there. Somebody said Mita hurt his hand or fractured his hand, something like that. So that's terrible news for him, but perhaps repairable before the next tournament. And he's got his 8 wins, so he'll stay in Juryo. All right, jumping into today, we'll start down in Juryo. We're just going to go down to the bottom. So Kusano won to go to 12-2, beat Tohakuරු. Mitakeumi, for fans of the former Ozeki, you'll be happy to know that he got his Kachikoshi today at Juryo 1, so he'll be back in the top division next tournament. And he beat Tomokaze. And the other guy that's involved is, I heard the Japanese announcer today call him Wakai Kari, because you can take the first 5 letters here in Japanese, pronounce that Wakai. But then I heard Raja on the broadcast when he was saying his name, recapping who won and lost, as the way I've been saying it, which is Waka Ikari. So maybe that's where I got that way of saying it. But the native Japanese guy who was doing the broadcast when I was listening, and watching the match said Wakai Kari. So anyway, he won, and he's now 11-3. So Kusano didn't clinch today, but all he has to do is win his match tomorrow, and he will be the champion. But if he loses and Wakai Kari wins, then there could be a playoff. So let's jump ahead, since we're in Juryo anyway, and look at who's fighting tomorrow. You got a 7-7 versus 7-7. They love that. So there's our first one. I'll have this on the channel for everyone. Wakai Kari at 11-3 fighting Dayamami at 7-7. So he obviously is motivated to get that win because he needs that Kachikoshi. And I'm assuming Koto Eho, some people are becoming fans of him. He's at 10-4, having a great tournament. Don't know if that'll take him all the way up to the top division because he's at J7, but it'll definitely take him up to Juryo 1 or 2. Then Kusano has Surigisho. Again, they're giving him somebody maybe extra motivated to get that 8th win. And Oshomi Matakayumi in the final match of the day. And again, it really doesn't matter what Kai Kari does as long as Kusuno wins, and then we'll see how that plays out. All right, let me check the comments before I keep going here. Yeah, we'll talk about Koto Zakura. I mean, obviously, I had a poll going on Patreon. Well, not obviously, because a lot of you aren't on Patreon, but yeah, I asked my Patreon viewers a few days ago in one of the Koto Zakura videos, just leave a comment in this video. Do you think Koto Zakura will ever be the Yokozuna? And the majority said no. The majority said they don't feel like he'll ever attain that rank, that he'll just be an Ozeki, he'll be a Takayasu, he'll be a Takakeisho, he'll be one of those guys that wrestles well, wins maybe a few more championships, although Takayasu's never done that either. And, then either retires or goes down into the rank and file at some point in the future. But, and I tend to agree with that. I don't think he'll ever be a Yokozuna. Yeah, Daisho, the problem with Daisho when we look at him is he's very consistent, but he's consistently just above average. Like, he's very good at getting 9 wins, maybe occasionally 10. But, we were trying and hoping that he would get 12 or 13 this tournament, and he just doesn't do that very often, especially at the rank he's at. He's got to fight some really talented guys when you're a Sekewake, and it just seems to be too big an ask. And so he is going to be stuck below Ozeki until he can sort of break through. Although people forget, Daisho has won a championship. A couple years ago in January, he won the Yusho. Let's see. What's up, CK? Zenshu Yusho. Yeah, it'll be fun tomorrow. I think there'll be some good stuff to watch. Do you know if the last day match usually is a Yokozuna face-off, regardless of the scores of the two? Nina's asking. You mean once he becomes Yokozuna starting in July? Yeah, it should always be Hoshoryu versus Onosato on the last day. It almost doesn't matter what their records are. It's just sort of like their rank demands that pairing on the final day. But what we saw a lot in the time when we had multiple Yokozuna was, one of them would drop out or, something would happen and we didn't often have that pairing. And of course, we had a time where we had 3 or 4 Yokozuna, and then, it was like, well, we had a Yokozuna clash on Saturday and a Yokozuna clash on Sunday, which was awesome. So, yeah. But definitely they should be fighting each other on the Musubi no Ichiban, on Senshiraku from now on. I guess. No, I can't imagine. You're saying like if Hoshoryu went like he was 10-4, and there was somebody like Kirishima was 12-2, and so Kirishima gets to fight Onosato on the last day instead of Hoshoryu. I don't think they do that. I think they pair them up. But we'll find out together. Watching now. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Kusuno in the top division. I agree. Brutus is helping me with my Japanese. So Waka. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'm saying it right. I was saying it Waka Ikari, and that's the way the English language guys have been saying it, but I just heard it differently today. Acting unit 0.8 is in the house. Hello. All right. Good. I'm going to go back to my chart here. I think I'm caught up on comments. So that's Juryo. Then we go to day 14. We'll see what the guys did in the top division. By the way, Asanoyama down in Makuuchi fights tomorrow. We can look at that really fast. So he will know if he gets a 5-2 or a 6-1. We got to go way down here and let it fill in. Dun, dun, dun. There he is. Makuuchi 14, 5-1 against a Makuuchi 16, who's also 5-1. So one of them will go to 6-1. The other guy will go to 5-2. And I don't think it's enough for either of them to obviously get promoted, but he'll go up and then probably be in Juryo in September if he has a good Nagoya tournament and gets his Kachikoshi. Unfortunately, Enho got a Makekoshi. He ended up with 3 wins and 4 losses, or 2 and 5. No, I think he went 3 and 4. So he will not be going up the Banzuke for the next tournament in the 3rd division. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Day 15 results in Makuuchi. Oh, no, that's tomorrow. I'm one day ahead, guys. Sorry. Okay. So Roga got his Kachikoshi. Yay, Roga's on my team. So he got an 8th win today. Sadanoumi, 10 wins. Very impressive. Koto Shoho, now a losing record, but ever since he came back from that injury, he's been really getting quite a few wins, 6 wins. He could end up basically 7-8 tomorrow if he gets a win tomorrow. Toki Hayate keeping his hopes alive with a 7th win against Endo. Shishi, okay, so there he is. He's 4-10. He's in no danger of demotion, but not a good tournament. Double-digit losses is never good. Kaio had to wait another day to maybe get his KK, and he needs it at M16. He lost to Meisei. Tochi Taikai is, headed back down to Juryo with that terrible record. Shodai, not great, but 5-9. He could end up 6-9. Aonishiki denying Atami Fuji KK, going for his 10th win. That's great. Midori Fuji is just the weird one where he loses 9 in a row from day one, then wins 5 in a row after that. And just like night and day with him. Onokatsu versus Asakoru. Both men started that match with 9 wins. Asakoru is the one who gets the 10th. He might get a special prize. It might be conditional if he gets an 11th win tomorrow. Kim Bozan goes to 9 over Takanosho. Ura, one more, but still having a terrible tournament over Tamawashi. Abi is interesting. I think he stalled out. Let's see real quick. It's taking a while to load here. Come on, computer. It's thinking about it. Or no, is it? Did I click it? I know this is fascinating. Tobizaru, though, got the win, so obviously he didn't hurt his ankle too bad in the previous match yesterday, and he's now 7-7. Abi, why is it not wanting to work for me? Let me make sure the stream is okay. Yeah, stream looks okay. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to share one more time. Okay, maybe that'll make it hiccup. Oh, gateway timeout. That's weird. Okay. All right, we'll go here. Oh, no, we can go here. All right, that's the Sumo DB. I do want to come back to this, but let me just open a new tab and see if I can get back to where I was. Everything good? Oh. Now I gotta... sorry, guys. Okay. One more time. Here we go. Okay, it's all good. All right, so let's jump down. Abi. Okay, so he got on day 11, he had 7 wins. And now trying to get that 8th win for the last 3 days in a row. Tamawashi, Hirada Umi, Tobizaru, not huge high-profile opponents, and he's lost 3 days in a row to get that 8th win. So I'm hoping that he gets it tomorrow because we are going to have quite a chaos show here to find somebody to fill the Komusubi slots, and I'll kind of go into that in a minute. Ichi Yamamoto beating Gonoyama, Asanoyama going to a 9th win, denying Wakamoto Haru a chance at a Kachikoshi tomorrow, and he will not go up to Komusubi. Oho 6-8 won't be going up to Komusubi at M1. Could finish 7-8, which doesn't show how kind of disastrous this Basho was for him, considering how well it started. Takeda Fuji underperforming at 5-9. Takayasu disappointment, but getting a win today over Chiyoshima. Now this is a losing technique. So for you guys that are learning sumo, Fumidashi is one of the not a winning technique, but a losing. It's an inadvertent rear step out. So Chiyoshima just basically backed up and stepped out of the dohyo by accident. So doesn't really matter. It's just kind of an interesting side note. Wakataka Kage, very impressive. 11th win. Kirishima, an 11th win, beating Hakuoho. And Onosato, of course, beating Daisho to remain unbeaten. And Hoshoryu getting the win over Kotozakura in the Ozeki Yokozuna clash in the final match of the day. So Kirishima and Daisho will maintain. Somebody was asking about Komusubi. So then we've got Wakataka Kage. I think they should make a separate, a third Sekewake slot for him, considering how good that performance is. And then if we go to tournament records, the problem we see as we go down here is so these guys will stay. He should go up. He'll go down. That would mean there's 2 empty Komusubi slots if they were to do that. And neither of these guys can get promoted. He has to win tomorrow. He can't get promoted. 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 We're already down to M4. He can't get promoted. He can't get promoted. Now we're at M5. So we have to go all the way down to M6 before we get Oshoma and maybe Tobizaru if he wins, and then M7 with Hakuoho. So M6 all the way up to Komusubi is a big leap. And if Abi loses, they just won't have anybody anywhere near Komusubi to promote. So it'll be very, very interesting what they do with that in July. Okay. Let's just keep going here while we're on this page and look at the day 15 matchups. Anything jump out at you here? Asakura versus Endo. Aonishiki, Sadanomi, battle of guys who already have 10 wins. Kaio trying to get Kachikoshi against Kimbozan. 2 9-win guys against each other. Toki Hayate trying to get his 8th win against Hakuoho. Abi, they put him up against Oshoma to try to get his 8th win. So many of these matches just don't matter. They have no consequence really. Tobizaru trying to get an 8th win against Wakataka Kage. I got to give that one to Wakataka Kage. Kirishima against Takayasu. That should be Kirishima's win all the way. Kotozakura Daisho is an interesting one. I honestly couldn't call it. Either one could win. Daisho's got to feel a little deflated that he didn't get close to the number he was hoping for. And then the match we're all looking forward to, the Hoshoryu Onosato at the end of the day. So that is our day 15 lineup. Okay, really quick. Let me jump back. Stop sharing. Check a look at the comments. All right. Yeah, and Abi Henka, maybe. Can there be no Komusubi, Nina? No, there has to be somebody. Some people I think were thinking that if they have 3 Sekewake, they have to have 3 Komusubi. That's not true. You can have 3 Sekewake and 2 Komusubi, but they have to have somebody in those slots. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. All right. I think I'm caught up on comments. Okay, let me share one more time. Thank you to the 122 of you that are here. So nice of you to come by. Let's check out the contest rules. 100 of you. Young Bull and Luna Bellies are in the lead with 60 points, and they have really different teams, which is interesting. They both have these two guys, but then Oho versus Wakamoto Haru, Kimbozan versus Onokatsu, and Asakoru versus Sadanoumi. So that's kind of interesting that they have pretty different teams, and yet they're both tied for the lead. 7 people tied for second place. So Brilliant Papa, Rodriguez, Lothario, JK, Zeb, K-Cell, Grobalom. And then we get into the 11 people tied for third, and I'm down here. Where am I? I'm right here in the 5th place group. I got 4 wins out of 6 today, so didn't do so bad. Takeda Fuji's probably the guy that's been the biggest disappointment on my team. I really did think he would do better this tournament, but what can you do? And the one I always point out here is J-Man. If he had picked Onosato instead of Hoshoryu, the rest of his team is amazing. He would have 3 more points, and he'd be all alone. It's with 61 points at the top. But you got to support who you got to support. All right, so we'll obviously, in the wrap-up video, I'll go over who wins, the prizes, and all that fun stuff that I normally. Boom, boom, boom. Can you do a live wrap-up show? I could. I've never done it. I think it would be a little harder just because I have so many things I have to kind of like show at the camera and stuff. But I could do a live. I can't really do tomorrow night live. I have to get up for work on Monday morning. But yeah, I can think about that maybe the next weekend. So we could do something like that. I always like to do the wrap up a little later to see what news comes out. Obviously there'll be pictures of his promotion, all that kind of stuff. But that's a good question. Is J-Wags here? Hey, J-Wags, are you in the house? Nice to see you if you are. Roberto says, what's up, Jason? Nothing much. I'm doing okay. Screen is black. We can't see. Oh, no. Okay, now you can. Yeah. All right. Let me show you one other thing. I just wanted to show you. Okay, well, over on Patreon, I can show you that real quick. So how many? We got 29 videos in the 11 to 15 collection. And today we had 7 videos. Most of the big matches and then some Juryo matches to start the day. So tomorrow, probably about the same 8 or 9 videos. But I'll also have the championship interview translated into English and other things like that up on the channel. So yeah, and I'm not gonna really like call it something. I mean, if you're following sumo at this point, you don't know that Onosato won the championship. You know, I am gonna just title it Onosato Championship Interview. So I guess that's a spoiler if you're coming to it much later. ASIJ asks, have I ever considered adding a best possible number to the game sheet? Explain to me what that is, and I will tell you. I don't know what that means. Hope you are feeling better. Thank you. Oh, there's J-Wags, the Doyo Hatsumo Tak. Who were Kirishima's losses to? Ooh, that's a good question. Go over and click on him. Over on Sumo Reference, I was just going to show you this really quick. 11-3 Kirishima. He lost to Oho, Wakataka Kage, and Daisho this tournament. So, not bad. I wanted just to see Onosato's record against Hoshoryu. So, by opponent, I hope this is, I should always check them. Yes, it's working. Okay. So we got to go down to Hoshoryu. So there you go. So the one was a walkover win. He lost the first 3 matches he fought against Hoshoryu. Then he won one, and then he's lost the last two. So definitely the Yokozuna has the favor in their head-to-head, but the momentum, I think, has probably switched now. So that's interesting that he hasn't beaten through that often. All right. Anyone pull any autos from the 2025 Nagomi set, Edward? I was seeing some amazing pulls over on my Facebook group. Somebody got one of the he opened 6 boxes, which is a lot, and he got one of the Onosato treasure cards. And those things are going to be worth a mint. So that's an amazing pull. I've only opened 1 box so far. I got nothing, but I'm going to open 1 more on camera in June, early June, and then give away one as a prize. So hopefully in that second box I open, I'll get something. But yeah. Yeah, it does. It like temporarily goes black and then hopefully it comes in. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so wait. ASIJ is explaining to me, I think. Hold on. Okay, I asked the question. Maybe somebody else was explaining it to me. Max score possible would be the day number times 6. Board game sumo cat says. Okay, still don't know what that means. Why do you do this show so late? Because of time difference to other countries, Satsuma is asking. Yeah, exactly. Because most people are not ahead of us in Japan. The only sumo fans that are ahead of us are maybe Australia and New Zealand. Everybody else, it's earlier in the day for them. So yeah, it's early in the morning in California. What time is it in California right now, guys? Like 8 a.m., right? 8:16 a.m. And then, that means it's 11 something in New York. It's, I don't know, what's that makes it 3 in the afternoon in Berlin. Somebody was in the house from Finland, if you can tell us what it is. So that's why I do it, just so it's easy for people to come by if they want to. Um, Ewok says he's just started. Wow, you got an Onosato auto. That's awesome, dude. That's a great card to pull. Yeah, we'll see the new Dohyo Iri styles. I'll definitely be putting those up on the Patreon channel next tournament. Oh, thanks, man. Ewok. I'm glad that the channel has been helpful. It's 4 p.m. in the UK. That's reasonable. Kind of maybe in the middle of your day. You're out busy doing stuff, but if you're at home having a cup of tea and a biscuit, gotta have a biscuit. It's 5 p.m. in Sweden. Good. Yeah. Okay. So, what was the person? Somebody asked me, Koto Sakura, and then somebody asked me a question. I'm like, I'll get back to that later. And darn it, I've forgotten what it was. Richard, are you in Australia? You're staying up extra late with me? All right, thanks, man. Got somebody in Croatia. Yeah, sumo fans are all over. At one point, I did when I had 17,000 subscribers. No, I have 17,000 now. 70,000 subscribers. That's the number I meant to say. The old channel on YouTube. I asked people to go to a Google form and just tell me where you live. And I wanted to see if I had every state in the United States, at least one viewer in every state, and then how many different countries all over the world. And I think I ended up with 43 states. I got somebody, and yeah, the amount of countries was just really interesting. So, the foreign sumo community is really strong. We definitely have people interested in the sport all over. So I'm glad they're making some small effort to get out there with the London and then Paris next year, and hopefully some more of that, and maybe some YouTube something will change. Who knows? Okay, what was the other thing I was gonna talk to you about? It's totally left my brain. Okay. It'll come back. Uh, so, yeah, I think, tomorrow should be fun. I know it's a half an hour early, don't forget. You can watch live on NHK World TV. Just go to their website if, the time is okay for you. So instead of starting at 5 PM Japan time, which is when their live stream starts, they only stream for 1 hour. I don't know why they don't do the whole 2-hour Makuuchi division, but they only do the second half, and normally that starts around 5:10 PM Japan time, because the announcer on NHK always says, "And now I'd like to welcome all our viewers from blah, blah, blah." But they start a half an hour early and do 90 minutes on the final Sunday because they have to build in time to, like, give away the trophies and do all that stuff. So 4:30 PM Japan time for you guys if you wanna watch, the last hour and then see Onosato get his trophy and stuff, but, for, people in America and stuff, it's like staying up really late. People in Europe, it might be just getting up super early, and so that's available, but, of course, I'll have Patreon, full coverage over on Patreon for day 15 as well, and I'm gonna, even watch earlier, get those Juryo stuff. Somebody asked to see the playoff for, was it Johnny Don or Jono? Um, I know I wanted to talk to you about the Komusubi thing. What was the other thing I said? Maybe that was it. Okay. My brain is going. It's getting mushy. After 14 days of doing this almost every day, the brain does start to go mushy a little bit. Um, yeah, Scott. I mean, they definitely could get out of their own way, and I think it would be bigger. I don't know why they don't sign a contract with ESPN or one of the big channels in America to just have it on. Do they still have ESPN2? Is that sort of, where they would show sports that aren't mainstream? I don't know. Yeah, see what records might happen. Oh, I know what we were gonna look at. We were gonna look at Tegata. That was the other thing. Hold on, let me just do that really quick for that one person that asked. That was it. I'm glad my brain remembered because I hate forgetting stuff forever. Uh, okay, so let me go back here. Does relegation work the same as in football? Um, I think Onosato will hopefully be a good leader. I mean, the ironic thing about Onosato is his coach is Kiseno Sato, who, of course, I detailed in yesterday's Sumo Summary show everything bad, that happened to him after he became a Yokozuna and how tragic it was. And now he's raised, and trained the next Japanese Yokozuna. So there's a certain sweetness to that for him, I'm sure. Um, but yeah, yeah. I mean, there is some sort of like, hey, sumo's for us here in Japan. We don't care about you other people. But that's hopefully going to change slowly over time. Okay, let me just show this real quick. So, for the person asking about the Tegata, so this is Jeff's site, buy tickets. It's where I go to get my tickets. But he has this thing over here in the corner called Shop. Let me see if I'm not up. Okay, well, I have no idea how that's going to affect the video that eventually gets made of this. Can you guys hear me again? Okay, it says back. Okay. I'm not going to go back and show all that again, but did you see any of the Tagata thing that I just talked about? Hmm. Oh, that's good, Iceman. Duh. Why didn't I think of that? Thank you for that bit of advice. I will do that next time I do a live show. Okay, you didn't see any of the Tagata stuff I just showed you. Oh well. I'll leave the description, go down if you're interested in Tagata. hit Jeff's store and have a look. Basically, he doesn't have Onosato, to recap what I was saying, currently in the store. Don't know if he plans to get it. I'll try to ask him when I talk to him again. He does have a Hoshoryu Hakuho bundle, which is kind of fun for a special price, and then he has individual other Yokozuna. I think he has Terunofuji, but yeah, no Onosato at the moment. Okay. Yeah, it's every time I change tabs. So that's a bummer that it's so picky. Oh, Yasumi Nasai, Richard, thank you for coming by and saying hello. I am going to head out in a minute. So, any last questions or any last comments you want to make? What are you looking forward to on day 15? Anybody go see the new Mission Impossible movie? Because I didn't get to go see it this weekend. I just won't have time tomorrow. I'll go see it next weekend. Me, Spiffy, and J Wags. That's a pretty good trio. I like being in that company. Thank you for coming by. Thanks for the fun stream. Ned, you are very welcome. Thanks for coming by. Thank you for everybody that left super chats and asked great questions. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow, the final match of the day. I hope it's epic. I just hope it's a good match. I really don't care who wins. I mean, it would be nice if Onosato got the Zensho show. It's just such a perfect thing. But he's already won the tournament. He's already going to get promoted. A 14-1 record. You can't argue with that. So, yeah. And it'll be fun in July when they're both Yokozuna and then they go at it on day 15. That'll be really exciting. Yeah, Ozzy, I agree. I hope Onosato wins, but I won't be disappointed if Hoshoryu wins, as long as it's not shenanigans. I hate the Henka and stuff like that. Okay. Have a good rest of your day. Most of you are still having day. It is now almost 12:30 a.m., so I'm off to bed. And yeah, thank you for coming by the couple times, and maybe we'll do it again. I definitely would like to do something in June, maybe check in June, have another live chat. So, and then the wrap-up video will come out in a week, and I'll announce all the prize winners. I need to do the giveaway too. 2 people picked the Star Wars stuff. 2 people picked the Marvel stuff, so that's easy. The Blu-ray DVD, easy. It's just so many of you wanted the sumo stuff. I think 85 of you. So I will have to just pick a random number. But I will announce that in the wrap-up video. So if you were involved in that giveaway, it was only for Patreon people and channel members if you're not knowing what I'm talking about. I'll announce those people in the wrap-up video coming in a week. Okay. See you from Chicago. Thank you. Good night, Nina. I don't think we're ever going to see Servo anybody as dominant as Hakuho or putting up those kind of numbers ever again. I hope we have somebody that gets, for instance, 80 wins out of 90 in a year that just has some stellar year. But you got to remember that Hakuho did it year after year after year. Even Hoshoryu, I mean, during his time was just so dominant. I don't think we're going to have that again. Because I think we've got some good guys coming up to become the new Ozeki. And I don't think Onosato is going to... He's going to be dominant, I think. And I was saying, I don't even think 12-3 records will win Yusho very often anymore. Because I can't see 3 guys that are going to beat Onosato on a regular basis. He's going to have certainly tournaments where he's not fully prepared, where he's not feeling well, whatever. And I'm not saying he's always going to win, but I'm saying he's regularly going to win tournaments, I think, at 13-2, 14-1. So even, 12-3 tournament wins, I think, are going to become rare in the next year, etc. Okay. Yeah, it's he's kind of he is the GOAT. He's a once in a lifetime. He's like when people look back with misty eyes at Chiyonofuji and how amazing he was. He's our era's Chiyonofuji. And yeah, it'll be a while. before we see somebody like that again. I don't know. That's Spirit Chili or Spirit Chill. I'm not sure if he'll be East or West. We'll find out in July. But yeah, that's a good question. Okay, that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. Sorry for some of the technical problems. We'll see you tomorrow on day 15. Peace.